Internal Quality Assurance Cells organizes an online course on library management. On behalf of Tyagaraja College of Preceptors, we welcome you for the online course on library management. Now I would like to invite our principal for give a presidential address.
Good morning to one and all present here.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Right. Good morning, everyone. I'm extremely honored and privileged to welcome you all for the second online certificate course offered by Internal Quality Assurance Cell of Tyagaraja College of Preceptors, Madurai on library management. It is my duty to introduce our college to you. Tyagaraja College of Preceptors, Madurai was established in the year 1956. It is one of the pioneer colleges of education. And currently, we are in the 65th year of this college established. And we offer a bachelor degree in education course for student teachers. And currently, we admit 200 students per academic year. In total, we have a strength of around 400 students studying a bachelor degree in education program. During this unfortunate corona pandemic period, Tyagaraja College of Preceptors, Madurai is actively involved in different online programs. In fact, we take online classes for our student teachers. We conduct intra-college quiz for student teachers, and we have so far conducted 15 national level quiz programs for students studying B.Ed all over India. Similarly, we have also conducted two different competitions, one in digital storytelling and one in PowerPoint presentation for student teachers across the country to explore their talents in digital media. The college has also offered two programs on research methodology, online workshops on research methodology, one a 5-day program and another a 10-day program along with Tamil Nadu Open University. And we have conducted series of webinars and we have completed around 10 webinars in this pandemic period. We have already conducted one certificate course on classroom technology organized by our Internal Quality Assurance Cell. More than 75 participants all over the country participated in that program and were benefited. The second phase of this online course starts today with online course on library management. It is my duty to introduce the resource person for this program. It will be a 5-day program. And the resource person of the program is Dr. N. Sundar. He is a librarian of Tyagaraja College of Preceptors, Madurai. And he holds a PhD in library and information science with a focus on information management. He has an experience of over 15 years in supervising and developing automated library with RFID technology in the field of LIS profession, which includes 2 years of teaching and 13 years of extensive multicultural experience in an academic library. He previously worked as assistant professor and interim library director at American University in the Emirates, Dubai, UAE. He has also received Cash Award for the faculty best performance for the academic year 16-17 and has organized many library distinguished guest speaker series, book fair, book review series, and library visits. He is an expert on implementing open source software for library automation, institutional digital repository, DSpace, learning management system, Moodle, and the content management system for library website using Google Sites. His area of expertise are library automation, budgeting, policy making, collection, development, reference services, information literacy, content management system, documentation, implementing open source software. So Dr. N. Sundar will be the resource person for all the 5 sessions in this IQAC organized online certificate course on library management. Once again, I welcome you all for this program, and I wish there will be a lot of takeaways at the end of this program. On behalf of the organizing committee, I request you to mute all your mics, as well as you need not come in video. You can mute your video also, so that we'll have a better bandwidth and we can have interactions. So at the end of the session, there will be question and answer. There will be time given for question and answers. During that time, you can open your video as well as audio and ask your doubts and clarify your doubts with the resource person. With these words, I once again welcome you all and I inaugurate this IQAC organized online certificate course on library management. Wish you all the best. Over to our resource person, Dr. N. Sundar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Principal, sir. Thanks for your introduction. A very good morning, one and all present here. For all the participants, we welcome you all for the online course on library management. Hope, am I audible? Even my screen is visible? Okay, thank you. First, I would like to thank you for all your registration. And it is a wonderful time, even during the COVID-19, you have to take as a challenge, as an opportunity. So I believe you guys all are having an extensive interest to learn new things or new skills. So that's the reason you have paid and you have registered for 5 days online course. Thank you. I once again welcome you all and let me start the session. So I'm Dr. Sundar, I'm librarian from Tyagarajar College of Preceptors. And we are going to have a 5-day session. And the first day we are going to have library, introduction library management and information society. And the second day we are going to have a classification and cataloging. And the third day we are going to have library resources and services. And the fourth day, library administration and management, including budgeting, statistical report, or what other reports have to be maintained, how the stock should be maintained, all those things will be covered. On the last day, we are going to have two sessions. One is library automation. The other one is institutional repository. You all know what is institutional repository. So these are our plans. So we'll go to today's session.
Sure, sir.
Thank you. Sir, is my PPT is visible?
Yes, sir, visible, sir.
Okay, thank you. And there are many people we could see in the participants list. There are many experienced librarians and research scholars, even the other students. So I have to cover all of them and I have to keep them in mind. So I have to cover not in-depth subject areas in generic as well as in an easy way. Okay, what are the learning main objective is to gain the knowledge about the library and its function. The second one is know the information needs of the society. Whatever that you are going to deliver or you are going to give the resources, you are supposed to know what is the need for the society or who will be the receivers or the audience or your readers. So that you have to all keep in your mind. So that is the first priority for the librarian or even the library professional, supposed to know the needs of your particular institutions. So there are different types of library. So it is very compulsory the library or whoever is going to handle the library, supposed to know the needs of the institutions requirements. And know the concept of the digital library and the virtual library. So there are different ways, digital library and the virtual library. And the other one is understand cataloging and classification. Then implementation of automation and the institutional repository. So these are the learning objectives of the entire course. So before I start, I'm supposed to give you the quote of the library. A library is a place where you learn what teachers were afraid to teach you. You got my point? The library is a place where you learn what teachers were afraid to teach you. Yeah, it is true. It is said by Alan Hersowitz. Can you let me mute the participants, please. So this is true. You know, the faculty members can't teach all of them in a 1 hour session, or even me. I'm going to take 1 hour session. Do you think I can teach for the whole library should be covered in within 1 hour? No, it is not possible. So you have to use the library. So library or the librarians are supporting to the particular institutions or for the particular readers. So that's the reason the quote it says, library is a place where you learn what teachers were afraid to teach you. You have to use the library, or you have to make the readers to use the library. So this is the main task for the librarian. Okay, the word introduction, the library, what does it mean, the library? In generic, we can say the main task for the library to collect, maintain, and give access. So these are the main covering area. But the library word, it comes from the Latin word liber, which means a book. The word library means a collection of books for study, research, reference, and recreation. So this is the library meaning. And we all know that why we have to have all the books, all the resources in the library to give the reference to the future generations. So that's the reason the library was developed. I will start with the introduction about the library concept before the independence, even the after independence of the Indian continent. So before independence, the library was not accessed for common man. You all know that at the beginning, British was ruled in India, and the British people, they started library not in the institutions. They have for their authorities. Only the rich people can access, or for the higher authorities can use the library. So this was the library situations before the independence. Even how they started the libraries, they first what they did, they connected the library nearby the churches. You know, the British people, they started many churches in India and connected the libraries with the church. So just they started from this way. Then they connected the academic institutions to the church. Then they connected the library into the academic institution. So this is the way before independence. Then after independence, what was happened? The people started to give access to, people realized the library is not for the particular people. It should not be biased. It should be access for the common people. So they have started thinking more and more, and they have created so many rules, and they started the public libraries. So the public library, there are different libraries, then we will see one by one later. And academic library, public library, then national library, special library. These are the 4 types of library. Then the public library, they started giving the funds from the government side. So then only the common people can access. So this is the way the library got evolution and got the revolution. So the next library definition for has changed the function over a period of time. You all know that the library, the current library, the position or the atmosphere is not like the traditional way. The old library was like fully traditional way. The people have done each and everything by manual. But nowadays the library concept entirely changed. So what the librarian has to do, we have to cope up our skills according to the needs of the information society. You know what is information society? Before it was all like print based collections or the manual works. Nowadays it's fully automated. Now the concept also evaluated like education 4, right? The industry 4. You know, the new concepts are being implemented in all the industry. So all the academic institutions have to cope up with the industry 4. Then what about the library? We are also the same. We have to cope up the latest trends. So we have to cope up to the education 4. What is education 4 and what is industry 4? We all know that the web 2.0, web 3.0, web 4. So the same concept have been applied for the library 4.0. So now we have to provide all access, even all the resources through the ICT, by using ICT as well as AI, artificial intelligence. So these are the main skills we are the librarians supposed to develop or have to adopt. Okay, what Oxford Companion says about English language dictionary. Library is a collection of books, periodicals, and or other materials, primarily written and printed. Okay, we you all know that Dr. S.R. Ranganathan. I have to give a small introduction about Dr. S.R. Ranganathan because there are some other students who are not librarian, they are also joined. So S.R. Ranganathan, he is a father of library science in India, who he is the one developed a library classification scheme like colon classification, CC or triple C we can say, colon classification. So he was the founder for colon classification. So we can call him as a father of library science, Dr. S.R. Ranganathan. What he says about the library as a public institution. Yeah, he is the right person and he said the right thing. A library is a public institution, so not belongs to particular people or particular domain. It is public institutions. Being a public institution, what has to be done? It has the responsibility to serve the public without any reservation or without any biasness. So this is what I said from the beginning. So it can serve the society for a longer period. Yeah, as a library, why we are using the library books or the resources? It is not just for the current people or not for the present users. Whatever you preserve or whatever you store the books, it has to be used for the future reference or the future citizens. So this is the main concept for the library. And there are main library functions divided into two categories. As I said, preservation of intellectual heritage of the society in the form of library works, like information sources. The second one is whatever the information literacy collected, how to give the access to the literary works to the society. So this is what the main two functions or two category for the hello. Someone raised the hand, Tilagam. It is unmuted, you can please talk. Miss Tilagam, you can unmute by yourself and you can, or better you can give your doubts on the chat box. We will read out. Oh. Can you? Oh. Uh-huh. Sir, then, sir, there is small windows opening, so the readers wants to remove that. Kindly hold a minute. Thank you. Hope is this visible. So the screen is visible and the audio. Okay, fine. Thank you. Fine. So these are the two categories: preservation of intellectual heritage of the society in the form of literary works. So whatever the literary works they started to collect and have to preserve for the future reference. And the second main function is to give the access to those collected literary works to the society. So this is the main function of the library. And we can say simply as a library concept, as I said, collect, maintain, and make the information resources available for the public access. So this is the main concept for the library. And before that, we have to identify the need for the user. So that's what I said from the beginning. Whatever we do, the work, we have to identify the needs of the users. So that's the reason they split it into four categories of the library. Four types of library. So public library, special library, national library, and academic library. Within academic library itself, school library, college library, medical library is entirely different. So we have to know the needs of the society. Public library collections are entirely different and the academic libraries are entirely different, even for the specific medical library or the military library or the prison library. It's all comes under special library. So their collections are different. So as a librarian, we have to assess and we have to evaluate what are the needs of the society or what are the needs of the particular institutions. Then what is the second functionality? To promote and the dissemination of the information to enlighten the citizen and enrich their personal life. So how you have to promote your resources? Normally it is very difficult point for the librarians. You may have thousands of resources, but there will not be much usage. So this is the librarian's main responsibility to promote their resources. What are the collections are available? How the resources can be given access? So these are the main or the big challenges for the librarians. How you have to overcome, how you have to promote your library resources, and how you have to give the visibility, how you have to reach out your patrons. So this is the main challenge. The one thing you have to have a library website. Through the library website, you have to give all the resource access to your patrons. This is one way. Nowadays, people are always, mobile friendly users. They don't want to visit the library. They want to access everything through the remote, through their mobile, through their laptop. So you have to have a web back. Even though if you don't have, you have to enable the web back. The cost will be very less, even though if you have the paid access of any of the library management systems, you have to give the web back access. What is OPAC? Online public access catalog. That is called OPAC. So you have to give the access to the web back so that the students or the users can easily access, as well as they know what are the resources are available in library. Then the second option, other than the website, you have to use nowadays through social media, Facebook, WhatsApp. What we do in our library, we have a WhatsApp group, and whatever the new arrivals comes, we used to send the clippings of the particular book or particular journals to the WhatsApp group users. Since we are a small group, we can easily reach out the WhatsApp group users. But when it comes to the university level or the big colleges with a big strength, how you can do it? Through the Facebook. You are supposed to have a library Facebook. It is very cost effective, but only thing, manpower or the skills. You don't need any specific skills for using Facebook. It is simple online skills. Once you started using, you will come to know how you can promote, how you can use, how you can engage your students through the Facebook. So this is the other way you can promote. Okay, what is the next one? It is all called library marketing. You have to have a pamphlets or the flyers, small pamphlets like A4 size paper or even the small paper. You can just print and keep it on your table, or you can keep on your library. Whenever the students comes, you can distribute. So other one way, it is librarians are responsible to give the orientation or the training sessions to the users at the beginning of the academic year. So this is compulsory for all the librarians have to use or have to promote, have to run the literacy skills. We can call it as a information literacy skills. So you can give them the training for the usage, how to use the online, how to use the OPAC. So this is the way at the beginning, if you give the user orientation, they'll be come to know what other resources are available, how can access. So it is very easy for you to reach out the patterns. Okay, what is the next, the last one? Provide opportunity for lifelong learning. Yeah, it is very important for the librarian to make the users feel lifelong learning. How they can? They will come and read and they study go means will not be a lifelong learning. You have to train them. What book, how the resources can be accessed, through how the search engines, what are the search strategy. Yeah, this is the other way you, as a library profession, you have to keep on conducting workshops to the particular section, even each section or yearly once, twice, thrice, you have to do it. Search techniques, the simple way. People know only and or not, but there are many other search techniques. You all supposed to know, you can just go to YouTube or go to search in Google, search techniques. It will be very easy. And as a librarian, you all supposed to know, you have to provide the training to your users. Then once they know how to use the internet, how to search and where they have to access the resources, it is very easy. Once they learn, they'll be doing lifelong. So this is the librarian's job, to promote even the lifelong learning. Okay, modern society library. So this is what we are supposed to talk today mainly, the three different phases. One is agrarian society at the beginning. What is agrarian society? At the beginning of the people's life, they all depend on the agriculture, fishing, mining. So this is what their main duties and responsibilities. What they did during the agriculture, they have to safeguard the seeds for the future purpose. If there is any disaster or anything comes, all the trees, plants will gone, right? So they thought to save the seeds for the future generation. If there is anything, disaster comes, they have to use those seeds for the cultivation. So this is the way they started the preservation. You all know that in the temple of the, top of the temple, they used to have some like a pot. In our Tamil, we say Kovil Kalasam, we say. In that Kalasam, we use the people, ancient people, what they said, did, they kept all the seeds, they stored on the top of the temple. Whatever, even any disaster comes, the top will be safe always. Even the trees, plants gone, let it be. But they can take the seeds again, they can cultivate. So this is the way they started at the beginning, all the preservation. Okay, then what is the next one? Industrial society. Once the industrial society comes, the invention of machines and equipment started. Once the invention comes, the machines, they started to store. If, for example, if anything they discovered or they invented in India at the earliest stage, it will not be reached to the other state or other country. It was very difficult. So what they said, they started to preserve as a book format. They started printing for that purpose. They started to store all the information. It started because of the industrial revolution. Once they started machine, they started all the book things. They wanted to transfer all those things into as a book format for the future reference. The same way it can be accessed for the other country or other continent throughout the world. So this is the way they started. Once the industrial society comes, what is the next? Information society. This is what now we call it as information society. Information society comes, research and development. So RD, people used to say R&D, research and development. Once the machine they got, they know how the machines are being functioned and what are the equipments are needed. From that, they wanted to develop further through the research and development. And nowadays, you all know, right, big data. So this is the big task for the librarians. As a librarian, we have to cope up. We have to keep updated ourselves. So the information society. What is now the current trend? Current trend, you all supposed to know, library 4.0. Yes, library 4.0. In education, we say education 4.0. In society, they say industry 4.0. This is the current upcoming trend for the industry 4.0. What is industry 4.0? We all know that information society. But industry 4.0, we have to adopt ICT function as well as artificial intelligence. Both combined, they have to produce, they have to reduce the manpower with the error-free solutions. So this is called industry 4.0. All the education started to adopt those industry 4.0 into the education. So they have to develop the students or their skills to equip to the industry 4.0. Then what is the librarian's job? So as a librarian, we have to adopt library 4.0 to give the training or give the resources to make them equipped to the industry 4.0. So this is called library 4.0, education 4.0, then industry 4.0. Actually, it is a vice versa. It starts from industry 4.0, education, then library 4.0. So this is the modern society. So we have to adopt. Okay. Nowadays, it is all called knowledge. You all know that library is not called for simply the library. People started to using as a information center or the knowledge center. Even for the classification and cataloging, they started to say knowledge organization. It is not simply cataloging, classification, it's all gone. Nowadays, it is called knowledge organization. You are going to organize the knowledge. You are going to classify the knowledge. People are not going to say like a book, periodical, altogether it is called knowledge. Okay, Michael Polanyi has given two categories of knowledge. The one is tacit knowledge and explicit knowledge. What is tacit knowledge? Knowledge of an individual which may or may not be expressed or shared to the others. For example, if you have any concept within you, you don't share. It is called tacit knowledge. I have an idea which I published as a book or which I published as an article or in some other format, or I created a software. So this is called explicit knowledge because I published. Then it comes under the copyright or the trade license. So we will talk about small things about copyright and trade license or these things later on. And the Zoom meeting is going to be end within a minute. But if it is end, you can join with the same link because the Zoom meeting only allowed for 40 minutes. I think we are going to over for 40 minutes. If it is disconnect, please you can join immediately with the same link what we have said you. Fine, thank you. And explicit knowledge, knowledge which is expressed to others orally or in a record form or through other communication medium. If you published as a book or if you published as a software, it is all called explicit knowledge. Then you have your copyright. Then you have your trade license. Then you have your copyright library. There are 4 types, as we said: academic library, public library, special library, and national library. Why they divided as academic library and different types of library? Why? Because of the needs and different types of user. For example, academic library, who will be the users? Mainly for the professors, teaching staffs, and the people who are working in library and students. Apart from few guests. So these are all the main users for the academic library. It could be anything, whether college or university or the other academic institutions. But the public library is entirely different. You can expect all type of citizens in a public library, from the childhood and adolescent and the elders, education, illiterate. There are many different types of people use public libraries. So their needs are entirely different. The types of users are entirely different. So as a librarian in a public library, they have to assess what are the resources they have to provide for the different types of users. So that's the reason they split it as a types of libraries. For example, for the child or the kids, they need a different sections for the children sections. And the children sections are entirely different. So as a librarian, we have to know how to identify the children's collections. What are the things we have to avoid? You know, for the kids, we have to avoid some kind of violated books, violations, like any other subject which is not relevant to them, we have to avoid. So the librarian have to concentrate on the collection development in a different way or in a specific manner. So you have to decide what resources have to be given access to those particular users. Same way for the special library. Special library means, for example, we can say a law library, museum of library. When it comes to special library, like a military library or the prison library or the media library, their entire collections are different. Have you ever visited a media library or prison library? The media library always they keep related to the media. For example, if any Times of India, if you go to their library, they preserve all the news related items, even their news, even from other TV channels or other journals news, they will preserve in a information or digital media. So their library is entirely different. If you go to the prison library, who will be the users? The prisoners or the police department people, only those people are the users. How the collections will be have in the prison library? You have to avoid some kind of novels or anything which should not be stimulate their mental health, right? So this is the reason as a special librarian have to concentrate on the collection development skills. For the prisoners, you are not supposed to stimulate their mind in violating or violation or different way. Even any sexual books you have to avoid, or any thrilling or killing, ghost, this kind of movie or the books or media, they will remove from the prison. Same way for the children's collections. What is the National Library? The National Library, their job is to preserve all the states of the country's literature they preserve. For even any states, for example, in India, if anything published in Tamil Nadu or if anything published in Mumbai, they have to preserve each and everything. They should not neglect any of the states' literature. So they have to preserve all the resources for the national use. So this is what the different types and the responsibilities. Okay, let me go to the next slide. Digital and virtual library. What is the main difference for the digital and virtual library? We can say in simple way, for the digital library, information resources in electronic forms. It is more popular in 1990s. Collection of digital objects including text, image, video and audio. Actually, they convert the print version into digital form. For example, if there is any book, they will scan and they will make it as a digital format and they will give access to the people. So this is called digital. And what is virtual? Virtual is born in digital. Any resources born in digital, they directly deliver as a digital format and they can access through virtual. See how we are doing now through the video conferencing, it is called a virtual video conferencing. So the same way they can access through virtual without any wall. This is called virtual library. Virtual library without walls, application of information and communication technology. Now we can even add for the artificial intelligence. So this is the main difference for the digital as well as virtual library. As a librarian, we are supposed to know you have to have the institutional repository. That what is institutional repository, what software we can use, we can talk at the last day of the session. Automation and digital libraries. Okay, this is one example for the virtual library. You can just note down the page and you can visit the links. www.virtuallibrary.влип.org. You can go and see the resources, how it works, all those things. Okay, then what is the classification and catalog? As I said, nowadays people are not using classification and catalog. They started to say knowledge organization. You have to organize the knowledges of the information. So the word classification comes from the Latin word classis. It means separating as well as grouping. You have to separate from all the books as a particular subject area. You have to group and then you have to arrange or you have to maintain. This is called classification. Mainly says process of sorting. You have to sort in particular format or particular form, particular subject specific areas. It is called classification. Okay, the main thing throughout the world, people started using Dewey Decimal Classification. The majority of the libraries using Dewey Decimal Classifications. It is international standard and internationally recognized and used by the library as well as the librarian. Dewey Decimal Classification. People can say DDC. It was formed in 1873 by Melville Dewey. That's the reason it called Dewey Decimal Classification. It is found by Melville Dewey. Same way in India, Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, he found in colon classification. It was developed in 1933. He was a librarian and he himself found colon classification. It is little difficult. I mean, when you're using first time, it will be little difficult. Mainly this is used by Indian and nearby Nepal and Bangladesh, not in many countries. But the Dewey Decimal Classification, it is being used throughout the world. So the Dewey Decimal Classification gives you even the freedom. You don't need to have the full-fledged sessions. You can even give the relaxation. You don't need to use as it is. You don't need to use all the formulas. But colon classification, you have to use all the formulas. You have to use what they suggested. It is little flexible, Dewey Decimal Classification, when we compare with colon classification. Then catalog. Catalog was derived from the Greek phrase katalogos. Kata means according to and logos means order or reason. There are people raise their hand. You can please unmute yourself and you can please ask the questions. Hello? It is not audible. There are few people who raise their hands. You can please unmute yourself and you can talk to me. Okay, nothing from the people. Let me go to the session. So according to means order or some reason. So this is called cataloging, and there are main two things we have to follow: Anglo-American cataloging rules, AACR2. When we come for the classification and cataloging, we will see some of the rules we have to follow. And as a librarian, we all have to know the AACR2. And what is machine readable cataloging? It is called a MARC format. When you do it in online cataloging, so before it was all manual cataloging. Now it is all system oriented. So when it comes to the system oriented, you all have to have a MARC, machine readable catalog. Just you need to know, that's it, because you are not going to design any library software. Nowadays people started to having the a commercial software. You are paying and getting. But as a librarian, we should know what is MARC format. You have to request them from the MARC format. Okay, types of information resources. We all know that there are some researchers or there are many experienced librarians are there. There are three types of resources: primary, secondary, tertiary. So these are all the three types of resources. The primary resource means the first hand information. For example, if I write anything, it is my own, the first time I'm writing, I'm publishing. So it is primary resources. The same thing, if I am writing, I published, the same thing, it is published by somebody else. That is called secondary hand information. So secondary resources. For example, reference books, dictionaries. You know the dictionaries like encyclopedia. It is not first-hand information. The dictionary or the encyclopedia, already the words are somewhere else. They taken from somewhere else and they compiled. It is secondary. Tertiary means, for example, directories and bibliography. Before, you all used to have a telephone directory, right? It is all the tertiary information. They collected from the secondary information or the primary resources, they will compile. It is called tertiary. Simply we can say. Okay. As a librarian, we are supposed to have a professional behavior. What are the main professional behaviors we have to follow? Be committed and make yourself approachable. What is approachable? You have to be friendly with the people, but you should not be always friendly with the people. So these always you have to keep on your mind. You have to committed. What is your day-to-day working and routines, and approachable. If you are not approachable, the people will not come forward to you and ask any questions or any reference service. They will not. So you have to be little smiling face. You have to be friendly manner, so that people or students will come to you and ask questions. Where are the books available? How to get access? So this is called approachable. You have to change your attitude and know your subject well. You should know why you're doing and what you're doing, what you have to do. You have to do homework. Yeah, there is no other option nowadays. You have to equip by yourself, because it's all, people are very smart, students. If you are in academic field, you all know that students level, they are all expertise in using computers. They are using Google, so they don't need to come to library. So you have to have a well established, you have to provide a hands-on training, you have to well known your subject areas, you have to implement many things. And the other one is, you are supposed to have a open-minded and global-minded. What is open-minded and global-minded? You have to accept and adapt whatever the new skills comes. There is some background noise, let me close. Participants, you are requested to mute your audio. Bhagavati. Yeah, okay. So you have to possess a good attitude, because at the end of the year, you all supposed to have a survey or the feedback from the users. You have to take a survey, then only you come to know how the students or the users, they feel about your service or your customer service. And as a librarian, we have to accept the users are our customers. We are not working for us, we are working for them, right? We are supporting staff. We have to treat them as a customers. When you go to any shop, how you want to be treated by the shopkeepers, the same way you have to feel. I'm not saying that you have to go down, no, not like, but still you have to treat them as a customer. What is their needs? You have to talk to them. What is their doubts? You have to clarify. Sometimes, people, they don't know where to get access of any books. They don't know where the books are scattered. If you are approachable, your attitude is good, then only they will come to you. Yes. So you have to have a good attitude. Then produce quality work. You have to concentrate on quality. It is true, you cannot be 100% perfect and 100% quality work, but still you have to try to produce quality work. If you organize any events or if you provide any services, should be quality. You have to keep on your mind. Then maximize knowledge. I'm sure, damn sure, you guys are really maximizing your knowledge. So that's the reason even during COVID-19 pandemic, you all join a course and you want to learn new skills. You have to use the challenges as an opportunity. You have to maximize knowledge. Wherever the knowledge you find, you have to grab and you have to adopt, you have to implement. And I have to tell you this, there are 4 ways you have to improve your skills. You have to keep on your mind. The one is information. Whatever you study, whatever you learn, it's all like information you are getting. Then you have to remember, you have to implement, you have to realize, you have to adapt. It is called knowledge. Then this knowledge you have to implement, you have to get employability. If you have a knowledge, it will not be useful, right? You have to use in your workplace, you have to implement new things, then it will comes to the experience. Knowledge, information, knowledge, then experience. Use all these 3, then the wisdom will always come. So these are all the 4 points I thought to share it with you. Information, knowledge, experience, then the wisdom. Why you all work? To earn money. So you don't concentrate only on wisdom, you have to keep on concentrate on information, then knowledge, then gain the experience, then automatically wisdom will reach you. You will reach wisdom or wisdom will reach you. So you have to maximize your knowledge always. Seek greater responsibilities. Always you should not hide. I mean, I'm not blaming the librarians, but it is always, the librarians are always being into their dedicated place, only library, they do only their library work. Wherever the opportunities comes, you have to feel free to involve into your institutions. You just go and organize, you have to go as a committee member, you have to promote, you have to be as a mentor, right? This is the way you have to show your attitude. And be innovative. Yes, you have to see, this is the right time that during this pandemic period, there are so many workshops are being conducted, so many seminars, webinars. You have to know and you have to grab all the knowledge, you have to implement. You have to show your innovation. You have to be. Then teach. You have to teach your skills. You have to show your talents to the other people. If you have all the experience within you, yes, it will be, you can implement. But if you teach, no, you will be having the real satisfaction, self-satisfaction. Yeah, there are people coming to me. Whatever I know, you have to teach them. Whatever you know, you have to tell them how to use the resources, where you have to access. Apart from you have any other special skills, you have to show. Then give credits. Yes, there are many librarians are working in a particular place. If your subordinates are working, you have to give credits to them. You don't take credit by yourself always. You have to give credit to your subordinates. Then work on your appearance and communication and etiquette. It is very definite and needed quality for the any profession. Your appearance, your dressing style, your way of communication. The communication is not just an English, your body language, your approach to people, the respect what you give, and etiquette, the manner how you behave. The people will assess you even by sitting, even your dressing, even your attitude, they will assess you, they will evaluate you, how the person you are. So these are all the main skills as a librarian you have to have. So keep on your mind. Okay. So these are all the reference materials that I have linked on the reference sections. You can just go through the websites links. You'll be having all the library resources. Fine. Thank you. Thanks for your active participation. I have completed my session. And if you have any queries or any doubts, you can please feel free to unmute your mic and you can talk to me. Thank you. Thanks for your patience and thanks for your active participation. Thank you so much. Anybody?
Sir, one of the questions. Sir,
Yeah.
one of the question or confusion that I am facing is that how are e-libraries different from virtual libraries?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I can't.
I mean, how are
Can you
e-libraries,
please
electronic
hold
libraries
a
different
minute?
from
Hold a
virtual?
minute. Yes, sir. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನಿಕ್ಕು ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರೋದು. Okay. Can you just hold a minute? I'm getting some information from the committee. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, somebody asked about virtual library.
Sir, how are electronic libraries different from virtual libraries or digital libraries? Can you please differentiate between the three?
Yeah, the digital library, we all know that, right? You are transforming the printed version to digital versions. Nowadays, the course materials, like virtual online classes, the same way how we are conducting, there are many subject areas. So instead of books, you have to have some videos. There are so many audio content or video content you have to enable. You have to give access to the users. And many online databases, they started giving the course materials. For example, if you are working in an engineering college, the basic engineering concepts, there are so many videos, right? There are so many videos. So those things you have to give access to the users. So they will learn through virtual. For example, if I want to know what is a library 4.0, right? I don't need to go through the books. There are some video content you have to give access to your students. The same way for engineering college, if you work basic concepts or the technological things, what are the new technology related to those particular students or particular topic, you have to give them access through the virtual mode. So this is called, or you can arrange even the video conferencing with the experts. Yeah, this is what the virtual library or even the virtual access. Thank you. You got it?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. And any other questions? And we'll be giving you one small assignment for today's. It is very easy. You can just browse. You have to come up with an idea. What is library 4.0? And what are the skills or qualities or what are the expectations for the library 4.0? This is the new concept, library 4.0. Then you guys have to have a new skills, library 4.0. Thank you. Any other questions? The material, the PPT, I will send it to you through WhatsApp. We will share the same PPT. Anybody else having any questions? We have another couple of minutes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so
Hello?
much. Yes, ma'am, please.
So we need to write it about library
Saria?
about the assignment. We need to write it about it.
Yes.
Okay.
It is just, you don't need to write more. Only one paragraph even is enough. 5 to 10 lines is enough. Half of the page.
Okay, and we need to send it on the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, you have. I will give you my library email ID. You can just forward it to the email.
Okay, okay. Thank
So
you,
that
sir.
I mean, you
I
also
have-
know what is library 4.0. This is new concept.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I have one question. For e-books, which is the website we can refer for some books and all?
Yeah, it is actually related to the cost. And I can tell you, if it is paid software, there are many open, but still if you want to subscribe for your library, there is a eBrary. It is provided by the Prequest. eBrary.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
E-B-R-A-R-Y, eBrary.
Okay.
Very cost effective and
But-
it covers all the subject areas. And
It is cost effective. We did not need to pay for
no,
it.
you have to pay. You have to pay.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, you have to pay. It is very, I mean, the less amount.
Okay.
But all other softwares are being asked more amount, but it is Prequest. By Prequest, it is multidisciplinary. And you can even negotiate whenever you want to buy or subscribe. You have to have a negotiation with the people. You don't need to subscribe the entire collections. You just go for the specific collections. For example, if you are engineering college, you take only the engineering related, technology related source. You don't need any other science.
Okay.
You don't need any other social science. So this is the way you have to
Okay.
negotiate.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, sir.